having the sledgehammer. And you got to be able to break things up, beat people up, hit, and go get everything you're after. It's going to take everything we have to go out there today and be very successful against Ohio State. But here's the thing. I'm going to add you into it. Coach, what I have here is job applications. Stand up if you're ready to go to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011-2012 University of Michigan Wolverines.
Smith inside, Thomas kicked it off the shoe. Here comes Novak leading the break 3-on-2. He's got Douglas on the right side, coast to coast, lays it up, lays it in. 6-0 Wolverines. 20 to shoot, backs his way in the paint, runner on the way, good. What a move. Ohio State's within one at 17-16 Michigan. Crossover dribble against his former high school friend, and Burke nails the jumper from 16 feet away.
We go for it when we run faster than them on fast break. When we're just outrunning, you're outrunning number 0. You can outrun number 1. I mean, you can outrun all those guys, but not if you go like yak tighter.
Buford drives right side of the lane, leans in off the glass, missed it, rebound Burke. Here comes Michigan pushing it right to left. Big game Mays uniform, bounce past Morgan, gets it down with the left hand. Burke found him in stride, and the Wolverines lead by 6, 29-23.
We wanted to bring the hammer today, and we wanted to, this is our house, we set the rules.
Left wing for Buford. Buford stops, leans off the glass, no, rebounded by Smotrich, near side wing for Burke. He'll push the pedal to the middle, bounce past Morgan. Posterizing the Buckeyes in the transition game against Sam Thompson. Around a Morgan screen for 3. Splat!
Oh, man.
That's huge right there.
Beast mode.
Kraft to Sullinger. Backs in, double team come, forced it up, and got some kind English on it. High left-handed dribble. Takes it left side of the lane. Drew some contact off the glass and through! What a huge hoop for the freshman.
I know how those games are when, you're going back to the home school. It didn't, pass you up, and, bet they wish they didn't today.
Shot clock going down. What do you do?
Crowd getting antsy. Burke penetrates, leans off the high glass.
Oh, my goodness!
The teardrop drop! How did that fall? How in the world did that fall for the freshman to give him 17 on the night and push Michigan's lead to 5? Kraft for 3 from the left wing. Air ball out of bounds. Saved by Lenzel Smith to Jared Sullinger. Forces a 3, no. Rebound Buford, yes, but it's over. Michigan wins 56-51.
We're one step closer to our ultimate goal, winning the Big Ten championship. This one we had to have, and we knew that. I'm just really proud of our team, the way we got it done today. This guy's really stepped up. It was huge.
I had a lot of fun, just to be able to go out there and, make plays for my team down the stretch and, get the 3 seniors, Zach, Stu, and Corey, a win against Ohio State.
We just wanted to finally get one, and for our home crowd, we had a full gym, lots of energy, and we playing for a championship, and it meant everything to us.
That was a big stage out there. It just shows. It goes to show how how close and unified our team is. Just to step up at the at the end of the second half and grind it out and get the W.
We got one of those 2-day turnarounds. Northwestern beat Minnesota today. Right, to win a championship, right? It's just you don't beat Ohio State to win a championship. You got to beat them, and then you got to keep on winning. But now you're in position to do that.
I'm ecstatic. First win against OSU, and hopefully many more to come. But we want to celebrate this one right now, and this win doesn't mean anything if we don't get that one on Tuesday at Northwestern.
Michigan splits the season series with the Buckeyes. They limit Ohio State to 51 points, second fewest Ohio State has scored all season long. John Beilein and company, 10 Big Ten wins now. I know you don't get caught up too many times in just one win, but this was a heck of a win.
This was a heck of a night. I'm really happy everybody probably really enjoyed this game today. That was electric out there, Matt. I know I enjoyed coaching it. I'm a little focused and don't get to really embrace the crowd the way maybe others can just sit back. But it was a wonderful night. I know our players enjoyed it.
Let's keep this in mind. You led start to finish against an Ohio State club that is second in the Big Ten in defense. 16 times they've limited teams to 40% shooting or less, and you guys shoot 48%.
Yeah, I mean, we made tough shots tonight, but you know what? We work at practice every day at we work at making open shots, but we work at making tough shots. They call the in-between game. We had several in-between games, and then we work on what we call a walled layup. What you do when you're a guard and there's a big guy chesting you up down the lane, and you have to double pump the ball and throw it in. That was the last 2 plays by Trey Burke. So we work at these things in practice, but we can only do so much. The players really practice them.
So offense is one thing, and you said that during our pregame. You said, got to hit some shots. Defense is something different. This club averages 76 points per game. You hold them 25 points less than what they average.
Well, we really tried to take transition away, and that was a little bit of our offense. We did score points. But then we just, we got a team that's really committed to guarding. We took 5 charges. We had a goal of 4 today. We took 5 charges. That's big for our guys, and we got guys of all shapes and sizes standing in there and taking charges. I've never had a team like this that everybody gets it done like that.
All right, let's talk about some individual efforts. Tim Hardaway leads your team in scoring. His jumper, the last couple of games, has been very pure. What's been the big
He's
difference?
really worked on it, and we've just tried to get him to slow down a little bit, try to really looked at what he does and see if there was anything that he could just work on and not worry about it not going in, just we really concentrate on his motion. And when you concentrate on your motion, you don't worry whether it's going in or out.
Trey Burke does such a good job pick and roll, but you guys did something different against Aaron Craft and the Buckeyes than you did the first meeting on that pick and roll.
We probably tried to do the last time. What happened is they played us a particular way. I don't want to talk too much about it because we'd give it away. We just adjusted at that time to get better angles. Want to get better angles at the pick and roll. It takes it away sometimes, but the other times they couldn't take away both of them. His 2 baskets down the stretch were really a big difference in the game.
Not only that, but his defense on Aaron Craft, 1 for 6. Everyone talks about Craft being the best defender in the Big Ten, and he's right up there. But Stu Douglas should not be shortchanged. He was phenomenal for the 2nd straight game against William Buford.
Yeah, that's if anybody would have told me before that a freshman could play defense like that in Trey Burke, but especially Stu Douglas, he's really just embraced this role.
He and Zach Novak, your 2 co-captains, 2 big step-back jumpers late in the ball game.
They're long. Now you're thinking one of them's going to be over Thomas, one's going to be over Buford. They are long guys to shoot over. We had the managers this week with the sticks, these big sticks that they hold up in their face when they're shooting over because they got some long arms. Big shots.
Jordan Morgan, first career double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds. He was a man possessed out there against the Buckeyes, and he welcomed the challenge to take on Jared Sullinger, who averages almost a double-double and held him to very respectable numbers.
Yeah, it was really it was a special performance by him. He had to, and he's been waiting for this game. He was very engaged and very focused, and you got to do that when you're playing against a team that is as talented as Ohio. You have to be really engaged, and he was very engaged. You can't let Sullinger's incredible talent get in the way of your talent. If you're worried about that, he's going to score on you. Well, that's 2 points. That's all it is. Move on.
We felt this place get really loud in the past. I got out of my seat, ladies and gentlemen, calling the game when Trey Burke, 2 bounce passes, not 1, 2 bounce passes for 2 jams by Jordan Morgan, including a left-handed stuff.
There was a time earlier this year that Jordan Morgan, if he was open, he wasn't catching the ball. He just wasn't catching it. And he was taking his eyes off it. Bakari's worked very hard at catching the ball with your eyes. And he came up with 2 really hard passes to catch and finished them as well. So, and Trey Burke was very unselfish, saw the right guy, made the right play.
10 Big Ten wins for John Beilein and the Wolverines. At this time of this program, it ties the Big Ten lead with Ohio State and Michigan State for most wins in conference play. Stick around when we come back. More about the atmosphere at Chrysler Center, how John Beilein and his family felt the need to feed a hungry crew.
What time are you guys here? 11 o'clock, man. 11 o'clock, baby.
By 3 a.m. Saturday morning, there was more than 300 Michigan basketball-crazed fans outside Chrysler Arena. By the time John Beilein and his lovely wife Kathleen got to Chrysler Center, there was more than 500. So what is a coach and his wife to do? Bring gifts, donuts, and hot chocolate. The Chrysler Center doors didn't open until 7:30, but the kids got there especially early to get special wristbands so they could get the primetime seats in the Maze Rage and watch a network pregame show. Those are some diehard Michigan basketball fans. That had to make you and Kathleen and really your entire family feel pretty good for them to wait that long just to get into this game.
Yeah, I went to the back. Well, I started at one end of the line. We gave out the donuts. Kathleen and our managers were there. I mean, the donuts never ended. It was the loaves and the fishes. I mean, we were just giving them out and giving them out. And I came all the way back to the start, and I said, okay, when did you get here? And they ended up saying, like, it started like at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 11 o'clock last night. I said, where did you sleep? I just stood up. Can you imagine standing up all night? And they were in line, and then we got these little, you know, the freshman co-ed girls that are coming in. They're there at 5:30 in the morning, and they were very good. I got a whole cup of hot chocolate that was spilled all over my leg when a young lady was going for a donut. It was a great hour for Kathleen and I to see the enthusiasm and spirit our students have.
But the enthusiasm at Chrysler Center Saturday night, I think, might be unrivaled. We've seen some big games, okay? You've had Kansas and UConn, UCLA, MSU, Purdue, Duke. This one was as good, if not better, than all of those.
Well, you know, it's tough for me to gauge them all because I'm so focused in the game, man. That's all I'm doing is coaching, and it's like whether the decimal level was at a 98 or a 97, I really don't know. I did come out and really look up, and when I saw every seat was full, I saw, and just the way they introduced everybody, did it. It's a new day. It's a new day at Michigan. We want to keep it like this. But continue to embrace our fans, do some the great marketing we've been doing, Hunter Lockman's been doing with our fans, and then put a team on the court that they love, both in victory and defeat.
Stu Douglas said he came out, started shooting around, and he thought there was about 2 minutes before the game was about to begin. And he looked up at the clock, and it read 22 minutes. That tells you how full Chrysler Center was early on in this whole process, and how important was it to stay unbeaten at home. Now 16 straight wins here, and you and the Spartans are the only teams to be unblemished in your home bar.
Well, I think what's really important right now is that it is we've got to this point. We have to win at home. We haven't been able to win enough on the road to this point to be, you know, way out in front in our league. We have 4 games left. Only 1 at home with a very improving, very good Purdue team. And so we got 3 on the road. So it's really important. If you don't win this game, now you got to win a couple more road games to stay in this Big Ten hunt. So we like that we're in the hunt. That's all we want to do is be in the hunt. If you're in the hunt, you got a chance to win it all.
We like to think we keep you informed here on Inside Michigan Basketball, but no one brings you the access like Josh Bartelstein. He writes a weekly blog about the Michigan Basketball Club. One of his biggest fans, the coach's wife, Kathleen Beeline.
It gives me a writing assignment every week, you know, so I make sure my grammar stays good. And, my English teacher from school always is telling me, oh, you missed a comma there, but you know, it is kind of a job that I want to keep the fans informed, and I think the people I like it the most are Mrs. Beeline's always telling me, oh, she gets no, because Coach Beeline doesn't give her all the stuff that she wants to hear so she can learn about her team from that. And a lot of the players' moms, whenever they come to games, they love reading it because, you know, we're not great at giving details about what we do every day. So it's kind of funny to people that, you know, like it the most, but it is kind of a job, and I take pride in it. Last year, as a sophomore, I started writing it, and I thought it would just be, you know, a small thing that, you know, some fans would read. And it's kind of taken off where I walk around campus or play away games, and people are always asking, you know, I love your blog, and it's been a cool thing to see the fans write it and see what they think and what they want to hear about in the blog. I had no idea that it would kind of turn into this whole huge blog thing where every time I write one, you know, the guys on the team, when they say, when are you going to put me in it? I'm going to be the feature. You know, when we play, you know, Maze Rage is always asking, when's the next blog coming out? So it's cool that it's become this big, and it's something that, you know, I'll always remember, and it'll be part of my Michigan basketball experience. I think one of the cool things is at the end of last year I wrote, you know, a really long piece, and it was kind of an emotional one about our team. And we got, you know, thousands of people wrote in this saying how much they loved our team play. And I kind of shared it with our team that, you know, this is part of what we do is play basketball, but it's also for our great fans, and they appreciate all the hard work and all the energy we put in. So I think at the end, when I'm done writing them all, I can look at 3 years worth of writing. It's going to be cool to see where I started, where our team started, and where Michigan basketball has taken off. It's been such a dramatic and, you know, exciting run for 2 years, really. 2 things I've learned. One is how big social media can be and how it goes everywhere. You know, I write it, it gets posted, and within seconds it's been retweeted, put on Facebook, so it just goes everywhere. And the second, I think the coolest thing I learned is how big of a brand Michigan is. You know, growing up in Chicago, you always hear about Michigan, but you don't realize, you know, we have the largest living alumni, and just how, no matter where we were, when we were in Europe, there are people wearing Michigan stuff. You know, everywhere we go, by far above more than any university, there's Michigan fans there, and that's the coolest thing, is that people write in from Michigan with us, or from Arizona, from China, from Illinois, from Florida, you know, all Canada, all over the world, and they're huge Michigan fans and are following our team. I think that's the thing that I've taken away the most, is just how special of a place this is because of the people that are here and not here.
Were you aware that your wife actually calls Josh and says, "Thank you for keeping me up to speed," since my husband does not? I know you're busy, but can you be that busy?
I didn't know that. I didn't know she did that. But that's probably happens, that there's many days I see Josh and more than I see Kathleen. And it's part of the business. She knows it's part of the business. We wouldn't have such a great marriage and such a great, such a fruitful coaching career, because I'm still doing it after 35 years. It wasn't for that woman.
But you've always told me communication very important for a head coach. So you communicate very well to your players. What about to your wife? How does she not know? Do you not talk about this?
No, I think she's embellishing that a little bit. I do keep her informed. But Josh seems to blog it, so maybe if she started her own blog, I don't think it'd be a good idea if she started her own blog. Josh would do a better job at that.
Stay right there. Plenty more to come, including a look at how the women are doing as well. This is Inside Michigan Basketball.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Basketball. My name is Melissa Pahorens. I'm the women's basketball athletic trainer. There's been many pieces done about the new Player Development Center, but what you haven't seen is the new Player Development Center athletic training room, in which John Del Rosario and myself work out of, and I'm going to show you right now. Come on, let's go. Come on in. As athletic trainers, our biggest job is to minimize risk. And that includes everything from pre-practice prep, during practice, monitoring and observing student athletes, and then post-practice treatments, rehab and recovery workouts. The area I'm sitting in the athletic training room is what we call our treatment area, and that's where we do pre-practice stretching, injury treatments, which it can include anything from ultrasound, stim, stretching, manual therapies, etc.
In the taping area, we prep the basketball players for practice and games with taping techniques for their ankles. Here, actually, we don't tape as many guys as you would normally think with a basketball team, because we work really closely with our strength and conditioning program. They do a great job in doing a lot of maintenance exercises, preparation exercises to work on their ankle strengthening, the proprioception or balance aspect of the ankle. So we have a pretty good kind of like a holistic approach to keeping the athletes healthy and do a lot of preventive techniques.
Our functional rehab space includes a Murphy-style stretch table. We utilize that for stretching as well as manual therapies. It gives us the ability to really get our hands on the student athletes, which are a lot of times larger than myself and John. It gives us the ability to really put us in proper positioning to do the corrections and the stretches that we need to.
In the hydrotherapy room, we have two what we call plunge pools, a hot and a cold plunge pool. The basketball players get in there post-practice for recovery, where they spend about 5 minutes in the cold, 5 minutes in the hot, 5 minutes in the cold, and that helps with flushing out lactic acid and help them lactic acid out of their legs and help them recover for the next day and for the next game coming up.
The underwater treadmill, the recovery workout, is anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes long, depending on minutes played and how the kids are feeling. It starts off with a 2 to 3 minute warm-up, which is just a light jog, followed by some just general leg movements and underwater stretching. It's a moderate workout, nothing super intense, because we want them to unload their bodies and just go through some general motions so that they're ready to go for practice or the competition the next day.
In our physician's exam room here at the PDC, really fortunate to be able to bring it to a state-of-the-art room. In the future, we will have a flat panel screen TV or screen monitor that will enable us to examine X-rays, digital X-rays, MRIs. It's a great room as far as doing any kind of procedures that we would need at halftime of a game or before a game.
I think the coolest thing about the PDC Athletic Training Room is you get to sit down and watch practice.
Absolpure is committed to bringing
Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by Absolpure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. And by State Farm, for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state.
The women hosted Red Hot Iowa on Thursday and looked like a team on a mission early on. The Hawkeyes were held to a putrid 22% from the floor, while U of M hit 46% of their shots, helping them lead by as many as 16 in the first half. The second half, however, was a different story. Courtney Boylan had 12 points as Michigan tried to hold off the visitors as long as they could, but a 9-0 Hawkeye run gave them their first lead of the game with under 46 seconds left to play, as Michigan dropped a tough one, 58-57. After the crushing loss to Iowa, the Wolverines looked to do something they'd done well all year, bounce back. They next hit the road to play at Big Ten cellar dweller Indiana as they look for their first win in Bloomington since 2003. U of M was once again out of the gates quickly. Boylan keyed a 14-2 first-half run that saw the Wolverines build a double-digit lead. Rachel Sheffer led U of M with 18 points as the Wolverines cruised 61-48. Michigan next hosts Purdue on Thursday at 6 p.m. For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Anthony Polidano.
Anthony, thanks. I'm not sure when these Michigan basketball fans will come down for the victory over Ohio State, but I do know this. We'll be back next week for another edition of Inside Michigan Basketball, where we recap the road game at Northwestern and senior night, an emotional one, as the Wolverines look for the season series sweep against the Purdue Boilermakers. Until then, I'm Matt Shepard. Thanks for watching, and go Blue.
Log on to FoxSportsDetroit.com.